What's up YouTube, and in today's video we're going to be going over my goal right now and my exact strategies and how I'm going to crush it and accomplish it in a couple of weeks. So what I'm going to be going over is my 4 weeks of progress so far, my habits, my nutrition, the exact workout split I'm doing, the exercises I'm doing, every single thing that I'm doing, followed by an insane back day. But anyways, let's just go ahead and hop into it. So after about 4 weeks of consistent dieting, I have dropped down from 239 pounds all the way down to 233 pounds. Today is currently Tuesday, July 21st, 2026, and I really do expect to be down to 232 pounds by this Sunday at the end of the 4th week. So in a weekly average, I've been losing around a pound a week, which is pretty much the best deficit to be in, is about 500 calories a week, losing about a pound a week. It just helps you maintain muscle and includes some progressive overload in your workouts that you're doing week in, week out. I have been trying tons of new techniques that other bodybuilders have done and been successful with that have helped me stay a little bit less hungry and regulated my hormones a lot better than what I had done in the past, especially when it came to my crash dieting phases. But even in the past 4 weeks, you can obviously see the vascularity of my shoulders coming through when I'm posing in the mirror, and my triceps and biceps are starting to pop out a little more. I had gained back a tiny bit of fat under the arms. And what's also extremely noticeable is that we can see some growth in the shoulders as well, because I have been slowly progressive overloading my dumbbell lateral raises and my cable lateral raises with more reps, as well as adding on 2.5 to 5 pounds at a time, depending on if it's a cable or dumbbell exercise. Additionally, I've also noticed the fat in between my legs and my thighs come down a little bit. I tend to put on a little bit of weight there if I start gaining a little bit of fat back. Pretty much all of that is gone now, and I'm starting to see the muscle grow back in my legs that I had lost. But obviously we can see a huge difference from my shoulders going into a V shape to my waist. All I really have left to get rid of is just that stubborn belly and love handle fat, which will just come with time. I do want to say that I am experiencing the whoosh phase right now, where you're feeling bloated and your face is getting puffier and your weight's starting to kind of stall. I was kind of maintaining at 233 at the end of last week, and I'm still 233 2 days in, and I'm completely okay with seeing some stalling, but that just means that my body is getting ready to drop even more fat as long as I just stay consistent with my diet. And this is typically where I would crash out and fail in the past and then just drop my calorie intake to 1,000 under, which is super unhealthy. But that's going to bring me into my next point, which is going to be my exact nutrition and habits that I'm doing throughout this cut. So pretty much I'm always getting 8 hours of sleep. I try and be in bed by 10:30, fall asleep at 11 p.m. and wake up at 7 a.m. Sometimes I go to bed a little earlier and wake up at 6. It just depends on what I have going on in the day. But as soon as I wake up, I use the restroom and I weigh myself on my scale, and I record my weight every single day. Doing this allows me to take the average of what my weight is the entire week and compare it to last week and plan for the next week ahead. And the reason that we always weigh ourselves after we use the bathroom is so we can get rid of any fluids and waste, which is gonna show us what we truly weigh without some water weight and some extra food in our system. Additionally, one habit that I learned from Chris Bumstead that's really helped me maintain metabolism throughout this cut is spreading my meals out to 4 to 6 smaller meals throughout the day instead of having 3 big meals. In the past, I used to do a lot of intermittent fasting, which also led to me crash dieting, and I would eat 3 big meals a day. My stomach would hurt and I would experience a lot of gut inflammation, but eating smaller meals throughout the day just takes away a lot of inflammation, helps my metabolism stay fast, and also helps me not be as hungry because I'm always getting some intake throughout the day. With that being said, I typically eat around 8 to 8:30 in the morning for my first meal of breakfast. And then if I am off work that day, I will have my pre-workout meal next and then go to the gym around noon or 1. But if I do have work, I always pack a protein shake, a protein yogurt, and one of my lovely meal preps from Clean Eat, so I can get my macros in while I'm at work, and I'll have my pre-workout meal as soon as I get off and then go to the gym that evening. Now, between the protein shake, the meal prep, and the yogurt is 2 meals. I usually have a protein shake and a yogurt as soon as I get to work, and then at 12 o'clock have an actual meal from the meal prep, which typically tends to be about 400 calories in just the meal prep alone. And then I have a pre-workout meal, and then I have a post-workout meal, and then maybe a little protein and low carb snack an hour and a half before I go to bed. And that's typically my meal pacing throughout the day. Additionally, I'm also shooting for at least 10,000 steps a day. I walk a lot when I'm at work, and on the days I'm off, I try to be active and walk more in between sets at the gym and do more time on the treadmill and just go shopping or go grocery shopping or get something done throughout the day that's gonna get my steps in, or simply just take a walk outside. And when it comes to cardio, I am doing cardio every single day, 30 minutes on the treadmill minimum plus 10,000 steps a day. And I always try to get my heart rate between 100 105 to 140 BPM. And I always do my cardio directly after my lifting sessions, so that way whenever I use up all of my carbs and glycogen from lifting, I can just go straight into burning fat on the treadmill. And right here on the screen, you can see exactly what my macro split is. 44% carbs, 23% fats, and 33% of that is protein. And my average caloric intake daily is about 2,800 calories. But there is one more habit that I'm doing that's allowing me to not be as hungry in this cut that I've never done before, and that is carb cycling. So as you can see, the amount of calories I'm ingesting as well as the amount of carbs that I'm eating every single day changes depending on if it's a rest day, a leg day, or just a simple chest, back, shoulders, and arms day. This carb cycling split is directly tailored towards me and what works for me. I personally only have one super high carb day. The rest are a little medium, and then I have 2 low carb days. But you can always just do super high carb days and super low carb days, or cycle in low, medium, high, completely up to you. What really matters at the end of the day is that you're getting calories in and calories out. Carb cycling is not necessary, but it does control 2 of your hunger hormones known as leptin and ghrelin, and it just lets your body know that you don't have to be as hungry when you're in a calorie deficit. And as for training, my split right now goes like this: push, pull, legs, rest, chest and back, shoulders and arms, rest. Majority of the weakness of my physique is my upper body. I put a lot of focus on legs when I first moved here to Murfreesboro to go to MTSU, due to the fact that I was training for endurance and I wanted super strong legs for running, biking, and I never really hit back that much because I didn't want to overtrain myself from the swimming. But now that I don't really do that anymore, I kind of get to focus on my upper body, and I don't really have to worry about overtraining, and I can just focus on putting on a little bit of muscle as I'm losing weight, especially in these beginning stages, and also just maintaining overall strength. Also, I want to get into what I'm doing for my protein. So a lot of people have many different opinions on protein. There are people that like to eat 2 grams of protein per 1 pound of body weight. For me, that would be about 460 grams of protein a day. That is not what I do at all. I have personally seen gains only eating 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, but when I'm cutting, I like to stay around 1 gram to 1 pound of body weight, and every single time I lose weight, I lower that protein goal. So obviously I started out eating 240 grams of protein a day, but now I'm getting around 232 to 234 grams of protein. And some days, if I choose to have a little snack that puts me over my protein goal and I have to take from carbs or take a little bit from fats, that's totally okay with me. Sometimes I go over, but I never ever go under. I'm at least hitting 233 grams of protein at least right now this week. Now, doing this allows me to properly recover from my lifts since I am in a calorie deficit. So I think eating 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is what's gonna help you recover faster from your workouts, as well as still eating enough carbs. And the carb cycling also allows me to have higher carbs on my leg day, which is a much more fatiguing workout session on the body than any other day I have in the gym. Now, I do have to say that cutting at 233 pounds versus when I first started cutting at 380 is a completely different ballgame. When I first started, I had the most immense sugar cravings. I would cheat, and it was just a super long mental struggle to get past the point of not wanting to eat unhealthy food anymore and trying to change my lifestyle completely. I also didn't realize how much my environment actually affected my success with that, because while I was trying to change, it felt like everyone else in my family was just trying to stay the same and have the same unhealthy habits they've always had my entire life. But I feel like after moving here, I've completely trained my mind to be okay with eating chicken and rice every day, or anything that other people would claim to be boring, because I know in the end it's not worth eating all of that nasty stuff that's not even real food and super processed and has a lot of just terrible sugars, when you can just eat the good sugars and a lot of fruit and a lot of sourdough and potatoes and all these really good carbs that are really good for your body and help replenish and recover you after you have intense lifting sessions. So basically, to sum up that, now that I'm living the exact lifestyle that I want and my environment is completely tailored to my goals, it is much easier to stay locked in on my goals than it was before. But anyways, let's just go make this pre-workout meal and go have an awesome back day in the gym. I'm super excited to just freaking rip some weight down from the lat pull down bar. You have no idea, bro. And we have a back day ahead of us. Back is the weakest part of my physique. I'm hoping that even though I'm in a calorie deficit, with the simple tool of progressive overloading, I can actually add some muscle to my back and my rear delts. With that being said, in this workout, in between sets, I will go over every single workout I'm doing for every single day that I am in the gym, as well as what I do on my rest days. I take active rest days, so I'm still here in the gym, hitting accessories and cardio, working on things like core, traps, and forearms, but we'll get more into exactly what I'm doing as soon as I actually start the workout. For now, I'm gonna warm up doing my cardio, and per usual, just get to it. Shoulders are all warmed up, so let's go warm up the back and get into some weighted pull-ups. All right, we're doing plus 20 today. So I think the first video I posted on this channel, I was doing plus 15. We have now progressed to doing plus 20, which is awesome that I'm able to implement progressive overload in that cut. Like I said, it can be done. You just can't be in too much of a deficit. And I've been going up by 2.5 pounds. Actually, I'm not even gonna lie. I was doing 15, and then I almost got kicked out of the YMCA on Friday for filming a chest and back day. And I just went up to 20 pounds on dumbbells because they didn't have a single belt, which I need to get my own, but they didn't have one of these like belts that I could use. So I pretty much just put a 20-pound dumbbell in between my knees and went to work, got it for 3. So we're gonna do 20 pounds on here and try to get it for 5. Come on. That's 4, that's up 1 rep. So like I said, I would go over exactly what I'm doing on each day that I'm lifting here in the gym, as well as what I'm doing on my active recovery days. After that set, we'll go over chest day, otherwise push day. So I always start out with flat press machine, just a regular old hammer strength style machine, incline dumbbell, dumbbell lateral raises, body weight dips, cable lateral raises, V-bar push downs, pec deck. I also threw in some shoulder press machine yesterday, right after I did dumbbell lateral raises, just to hit the front delts a little more. I felt like I wasn't getting any activation throughout the week. So I just added in a quick set till failure on shoulder press machines. So that's pretty much all I do for chest day. But let's hit this next set. Only 3, that's okay. We got 4 in the first set. That's progressive overload, even if you go up by 1 rep. Easy money. So obviously every single back day, and as well as every single chest and back day, I'm starting off with a weighted pull-up. On my specific back days though, we go into the Arsenal Strength row machine. She's a beaut. Well, for 4 weeks straight, I was doing close grip lat pull downs and then doing wide grip cable rows. We're switching it up to wide grip lat pull downs after this, and then into close grip cable rows. And then after that, we do seated supinated curls, and then we do the pullover machine, which I've never done before. I've usually been doing pullover easy bar, but after 4 weeks, I changed the pullover machine because I wanted to try it. Never tried it before. And then we go into unilateral preacher curls, and then finish out with some rear delt flies. Oh my God, that was crazy. How much was that, 10? Basically, if you can't tell with my program on back, I like to constantly switch between hitting exercises that target width and then hitting an exercise that targets thickness and then doing a width and then doing a thickness again. Obviously, I'm always gonna do compounds first when I'm fresh because they're way more fatiguing than doing bicep curls. We got 1 more set of this, and then we're gonna go straight into wide grip lat pull downs. All right, boom, so for leg day, we start off with a really simple leg press. By the way, on all of my workouts that I do, I'm mostly just doing 2 sets till failure. I don't really do any junk volume. I just go hard, 2 sets till failure, hit everything twice a week per usual. We do leg press, RDLs, hack squat, leg extension, hamstring curls, then we do abductors, and then calf raises. That's literally all I do for my leg day. All right, so for what I do for active rest days, I always make sure I get 10,000 steps in, and I do cardio after I hit my accessories. So my accessory workout is Smith machine behind the back shoulder shrugs, and then I go into core. So lately I've been doing cable crunches, and I've been doing Air Force sit-ups as well, which is like you do a side sit-up, that's 1, 2, and then a regular sit-up 3. So that counts as 1 rep. I do reverse wrist curls behind the back, and then I go into dumbbell reverse wrist curls. They're not both reverse, but you know what I mean. I just hit both sides of the forearms, and that's it. And I just do cardio. Let's get into what my chest and back day always has in store for me. So this is what I had to do with the Y the other day, but you can substitute these movements for literally anything else, just as long as you try to stay consistent. I couldn't stay consistent there because that YMCA had like negative machines, but I always start out with weighted pull-ups. I did incline Smith machine instead of dumbbell. I usually do incline dumbbell. Wide cable rows, machine flat press, close grip, lat pull downs, rope pullovers, and dumbbell chest fly. But all good, we don't wait for machines. Oh my God. I think one thing that really changed the game for me, honestly, was that I used to train like 3 or 4 sets till failure, just like putting my body into the dirt. All of that stuff you see on TikTok about training just 2 sets till failure and not doing like 5 or 6 exercises per muscle group. Just pick like at most 4, but just 2 sets till failure, and make sure you're hitting it twice a week, especially if you're natural. That's really all that matters. Even though I'm considered like not natty right now, I still train like that. Like I have no reason not to. It's just the best way to grow, and I've been able to grow like that even though I've been in a calorie deficit. Definitely the best way to recover as well too. And of course, the last heavy lifting day we do in the week is shoulders and arms. I call it SARMs for short. I think it's funny. We start off with shoulder press, then go into dumbbell lateral raises, then we do bodyweight dips, then seated supinated curls, seated V-bar push down, unilateral preacher curls, and then rear delt flies. And that's it. Those actually felt really good. I've never used that machine before in my life. I definitely felt that in my back like really well. So 1 more set and we're done with these. So I learned this trick from Eric Janicki. I don't obviously have a range of motion block on me right now, but you can use yoga block and just get deeper range of motion unilaterally with your arm. So that's what we're gonna do next. And then hop into some rear delt flies and it'll be over. I'm gonna grab some water and we'll hit our first set. We'll probably go downstairs and do rear delt flies because the 2 machines that are beside it are being used. I don't want to be in people's way, so we'll go downstairs. That's a wrap on that. Let's go get some poses in, some more mind and muscle connection, show you the progress on my back we've made in 4 weeks. All right, let's see what we're working with right now. This is the posing room here at Carbon, not too shabby. Let's just see what we're working with right now. All right, so tank top on. Work some biceps today. Rear delts. I'm a little ashamed of my back because of how small it is and how much fat I have in my love handles, but we're gonna show it off anyways. It's time to go do some cardio and get on with our day. I gotta go film some B-roll footage for all the stuff that I talked about earlier in the video, like where I get my meal prep and all that stuff. And I think I'm just gonna go shop around, look out, get some steps into the day, but yeah, solid workout. So there you go, guys. That is literally everything I'm doing to lose the last 39 pounds of my body weight and finally get to 10% body weight. I covered my nutrition, my workout split, how many sets and reps I do to train, what I do for recovery, active recovery, all of that. There you go. Now this is subject to change after this 5th or 6th week. I do believe that it is a good idea in the 4th to 6th week range to change up the workout split. If you don't change up the workout split, then to change up the exercises. And also we have to adjust our calories because we're continuing to lose weight. I actually just hit 232 today. I'm filming the outro right now on Friday, and this video was originally filmed on Tuesday, so we have seen immense progress. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. You can actually support me by doing these 3 things: subscribing, going to my other socials and following, and looking at my linktree shop and using that 80% off your first order on Fabletics, as well as ordering from my shop where I have protein powder, creatine, shaker bottles, and a few little fun things in there. I totally recommend going in there and helping me out because it would be much appreciated. And it would help me to get things like my first actual camera, upgrade some equipment, and continue to make better videos for you guys. But yeah, thank you so much. Have a blessed day.